Hello! I am so happy to bring out our yummy, delicious dough. The dough is bigger than this because, yes, I did steal from it. I've made 3 meat pies from it. I just had to test out the recipe, you know. This is Charmaine, registered and licensed dietitian. I love meat pies. Nigerian meat pies, I think, are one of the best. I've made them for neighbors before. They've raved about it. You know, my husband loves them. My kids love them. It's just one of those things that you never have time to make. Matter of fact, I am about 30 minutes away from going to pick up my kids from school, and I am like, okay, Kim, make these meat pies. Yes, my name is Charmaine Kim. But anyway, so I am kneading the dough. It was in the refrigerator. It's been out of the refrigerator for a few hours now. It's supposed to chill and rest for about 30 minutes. It did that. It actually was in the refrigerator for much longer than that, but nevertheless, here's our dough. I'm playing in it. I put a little extra butter on top of it, and that's okay. So, go ahead and cut it. You can cut it in 4 pieces. So let me go ahead and get a knife for that. So we can start working it. I think we'll be able to get at least 4 to 5 large meat pies out of this. But we'll see. So I'm cutting it in 4. 1, 2, 3, and here's the 4th. Okay, let me lower this so that you can really see me work this dough. Actually, I think I have to But yeah, so I think it's good to make your own treats so that you can control the amount of salt, control the amount of sugar, and if you want to control the amount of fat. In baking, the fat, I don't know, it just makes it taste better, but you know, it's okay because I've tried different fats in baking. Have you ever made avocado brownies? It's absolutely delicious. One day I'll make them for you. But I'm going to go ahead and start rolling out my dough. Okay. So I take it from the middle and I kind of wiggle it. Then I take it the other way and I kind of wiggle it. Kind of like a cross. Sorry. If you can't really see, I need a whole lot of space for this. Oof. Okay, sorry. And just clean off your counter. If you have some kind of stone top or marble kitchen top, that's great. Just wash it off and clean it. Make sure it's really dry before you start. This is a point where you could still add a little flour if you need to, but I would need it if need be. So I flatten out my dough. If you make it too flat, it may break apart, I noticed. Because sometimes I'm really trying to get all the meat pie I can get, right? But then it doesn't really matter because it'll be thicker if you don't roll it out too flat. So I'm taking a bowl. I used a bowl to cut it out and I just kind of wiggle it. See what I'm doing? So that it'll cut. See? Big space, big circle. So then you just take it all around. And I'm putting it in a pile here in a bowl because I'm going to throw this bowl in the fridge again. Sometimes I do that because I want it to see the bowl. I'm just going to put it to the side because I really want it to, and I'm flattening it out a little more because I want it to be easy to manipulate. But this dough is pretty awesome. I've had really good results with this. So take some of your mixture. So I'm doing vegetarian meat pies, which is basically just Beyond Meat, carrots, onions all sauteed. It's so good. And then once you've sauteed with thyme, salt, maybe some Louisiana flavor if you want, and some onion powder. Then you would go ahead and add your water, so some hydration. Uh-oh, this is kind of, oh no. Uh-oh. See, this is why it's good for it to be cold, because now it's, uh-oh, see what it did? Oh no. That's okay. It's still gonna come out good. But now I know to put the, no, I'm supposed to put the egg wash. That's okay. We're gonna do this one like this, and the next one we'll do it the right way because I forgot to seal with the egg white. So this is just some egg whites. You can use the whole egg too, it's up to you. But I'm going to seal it. And sometimes that happens, you miss a step. There's a lot of steps with meat pie. Up until this point, I have made my dough and made my meat innards, and I've let both of them cool off before getting to this process. So this is probably the worst looking meat pie ever because it is room temperature. It's better when it's still chilled. But of course, fresh out of the fridge is too hard. So it does need to sit on the counter for at least, I would say at least 20 minutes, depending on the environment, before you start manipulating the dough. All right, so then make holes so that it can ventilate. By the way, when you saute your Beyond Meat and your carrots and onions and everything, hydrate it, beautiful, with water and flour. So that's a secret that one of my good friends years ago taught me. Thank you. So next roll, this one, when we know better, we do better. So this one, let's see what happens. Since now I know that the room temperature dough is gonna stick, I've made meat pies probably at least 10 times. Made them back in the day. First time I ever made it, I think I put too much baking powder. This one didn't even need any baking powder and baking soda, but back in the day I think I put way too much, and it looked like I was making cakes. And I mean, I like making mistakes because it helps you do better next time. That's okay. First time you make something may not come out. I've been having a lot of luck lately with making things the right way the first time. Okay, so here's my bowl. These are big, pretty good size meat pies. They're not giant, but they're not tiny. They're medium size, I would say. So all of the edges I'm putting in a ball together in the bowl because they're gonna go in the refrigerator. Wow, these meat pies are baking. So even after, I'm gonna lightly roll it out because I realized the other one kind of stuck. So here we go. We're gonna put more of the meat innards. Okay. And so the rest of the dough, I want to go on ahead. See how moist it is. See? Usually when you saute meat, it doesn't look this moist. But by the time you add the flour and the water, it is pretty wet. So that's it. And then, oops, see, I'm almost trying to forget a step. Go ahead and take your egg white, seal it like so. See, I am so far, everyone knows me as a cook and not a baker. So, ladies and gentlemen, see a lot of the flakiness that's getting stuck on the counter. That's why I'm going to pop this dough back in the refrigerator. I'm going to pick up my kids and work on this later. The rest of the meat pies later. And I think we're going to get at least 4 more meat pies. So if you run out of meat, make more. But just make sure you refrigerate it Make sure it's very moist before you add it to the center of your meat pie or your dough. Then go ahead and brush it so that it's nice and golden. It'll be more golden if you just did the whole egg, but this is okay. I think it'll come out pretty beautiful because it has a lot of butter. I use 3 sticks of butter in this recipe and 700 grams of flour. So, and then stab it, and then just a little bit of sugar. Can't remember if it was 1 teaspoon or 1 tablespoon, but I'll get you the recipe. And that's that. When it's very soft, it'll start to almost melt in your hands, but this is looking pretty good. And you can tell when it's gonna be a good meat pie pretty much right before you add it. So here's the two. This is what it looks like when you leave it out for hours. You know, we kind of had an emergency today with our kids, so when you leave your dough on the counter too long, this is what the flakiness starts to come up. This is a first for me. So I'm going to put all my dough back in the refrigerator and show you what they look like when they are nice and chill.